Holy day, everybody. Starting a little late. I'm your host, Grand Sheik Dr. Lawiy. Get us started here. So last week we left on talking about the Dred Scott case. We went into our sermon and lecture about that last week. So we're gonna see what we can pick off at this week and really get into the issues of the case. I'm gonna open us up with the divine supplication as we do every week. And let's get it started. Prayers and thinking by using the all. O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the worlds, we do accept the duty you have laid on us to clean up the filth made by the West and its non-submitting fools. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us, to control the strings of the courses of our lives. Our sustainer, and if we do wrong, please show thy blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us true followers of the news bearers, and in thy name, we carry on. All right. So, share the room. All right. Let's get us to our daily affirmations. We're gonna get it started in here today. All right. Just sharing the room so that way people are notified that we are here for today's holy day. Do a little simple shit today. All right. Do one more share. That's gonna be about it. All right. So let's get to it. We're gonna go into our daily affirmations. Our 19 affirmations. Called the daily affirmation of loyalty of the children of the Elohim. Right? So we accept this fact, the eternal laws of nature, as revealed through as revealed through science, past events, logic, common sense, revealed as right knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We accept this fact, the highest laws of nature, is the cooperation and harmony of all living things. We accept this fact, our way of life, as a means to the best end. We accept this fact that loyalty is the greatest of all honors and treason is the worst of all crimes. We accept this fact that what is good for the Holy Tabernacle is the highest virtue, and what is bad for the Holy Tabernacle is the ultimate evil. We accept this fact that the Holy Tabernacle is the finest and noblest organization for all humanity created by circumstances, and the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek is the noblest of fraternities on and above this planet. We accept this fact that creativity, love, and cooperation are the essence of success. We accept this fact that truth and facts are always and has always been the originator and creator of all success. We accept this fact that all worldwide cultures and civilizations came about from the ancient Sumerians and Kamite Egyptians and the Anunnaki or Elohims from the heavens, without which there would be none. We accept this fact that for the Holy Tabernacle to survive, expand, and advance, we need, first of all, a revolution of values and thoughts, which must start within each person by being truthful with themselves and about themselves. Therefore, we completely and categorically reject all myths, fictions, religions, and lies that have not been proven. That would include your heavens, your hells, your hellfire and brimstones, your horn and pitchfork devils, your winged angels, and your old man God character sitting on the throne up there somewhere. We deal strictly with facts. If you can't prove it, we don't want to hear it. That doesn't mean we won't listen to you. Just don't expect us to accept your beliefs by virtue of a title such as Reverend, Pastor, Deacon, Imam, Sheik, Rabbi, Minister, Theologian, etc. That is your sensationalism, and we deal with just the facts. We accept this fact that the only true revolution is a war of good against evil, right against wrong, fairness against unfairness, loyalty against disloyalty, sincerity against insincerity, honesty against dishonesty. And this war is fought within each person among the agreeable and disagreeable Elohims that make up your willpower. We accept this fact that the unity of our community and its success will only happen with cooperation with all involved. We accept this fact that the total unification of all humanity on the basis of truth, that is, accepting people and races for who and what they are, respecting their culture, their languages, and their beliefs, and expect the same. We accept this fact that the human race's biological and cultural heritage is now under attack by our own morals, our self-righteousness, our desire to control industry, and these things attack the very existence of humanity. We accept this fact that males as well as females are equal in all things and should be dealt with as partners in all matters. We accept this fact that no one race of people is better than the other. In fact, no one wins the race and racism. We accept this fact that communication between different people is the cure to the ignorance that breeds the disease hate. We accept this fact that a good and well-rounded education could prevent most of the ignorance that plagues the world. We accept this fact that the all is just that, the all. You can't take from the all, you can't add to the all. Well, you're all within the all is one. That is our concept of what you call a deity. To the fulfillment of these facts, we children of the Elohim forever pledge our lives, our sacred honor, and our spiritual zeal. All right. So we're going to open us up with the divine constitution and bylaws, and of course the Moorish prayer, y'all. So this week we're going to get into, like I said, we're going to get into the Dred Scott case as it is known and really dive in. All right. So let's get into it. All right, so y'all know how this goes. 2 fingers up, 5 fingers up, facing the east, feet at a 45-degree angle. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Lawiy. Amen. All right. So let's do this. Let's jump into this divine constitution, y'all. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitutions of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed. that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. True peace. All right, y'all. Let's jump into our weekly readings. Chapter 25, of course, from the Holy Qur'an, Circle 7, called the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, which is very, very important to read and really get a grasp on. And it reads, "Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other." All right. That is chapter 25 of the Holy Quran, Circle 7. Yeah, like I said, you want to, get the grasp of that. That's basically giving us the instructions to honor our brothers and our sisters and honor our forefathers and divine mothers that have done the work before us, as well as those that are our brothers and sisters. Even if they're doing, what's considered to be called dirty moral type things, we're not to forsake our brothers and sisters. Allah is the one who would render the judgment to them, and let the laws of the universe do his bidding. So with that, let's go on to chapter 47, called Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa, and it reads, "The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family was second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the father and the son, the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest Africa, was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them, the Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and all the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren, who sovereign from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended northeast and southwest Africa across Great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile, westward across the Great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family. Because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who was able to change man from the descended nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and awful day that is sure to come. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black and colored, was given to the Asiatics of America, whom were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. All right. And that's chapter 47, right there, Islam. Let's jump right into chapter 48, called The End of Time and the Fulfilling of the Prophecies. And it reads, the last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days, there came a forerunner of Jesus who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospels to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc., that the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We, as a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenant of the great God Allah, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God Allah had given thee. Come, all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed that you will learn to love instead of hate. We're trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourself with the family of nations. We honor all true and divine prophets. Islam, yeah. All right. So, yeah, last week we stopped at section 4 of this Dred Scott case, and that's where we was waking it up at. We really was getting into an intense build there, and I want to continue off where we left off last week. So let's get into that. Yeah, we was getting real intense in that build. So let's dive in. Let's dive in, shall we? Let's say 3 people came in. I didn't see who that was. Okay. That happened real fast. I was sharing the room. All right. Hope whoever that was come on back. But let's dive in real quick. So last week we was getting into this Dred Scott case, and I'm about to pull the links up here. But if you're coming into the room and I can't see you, leave something in the chat, that way I know who's coming. And I'm about to get us back to the links that we had last week, where we was reading the Dred Scott case. All right, yeah, because we was diving into the case. I think this is where we was at. Yep, this is where we was at right here, y'all. And we was on section 4, but since it's not that many people in the temple just yet. Okay, I don't even see what that is. Yeah, go ahead and click the greenhouse at the top that say World Temple, the block of words that say World Temple, and join us. Because I can't even see who's at the bottom, who's here. That's weird, but I don't know if that's because of, okay, yeah, now I see it. But greetings, brother. Go ahead and join the temple. Click the gray block of words at the top that say World Temple, so that way it's no problem bringing you up. Yeah, it got everything he's saying is in Arabic. I can't even know who that is. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, since it's just me here in the temple, we're gonna take it real light today. But that's where we left off. We left off at section 4 last week, from reading the actual case. So let's just touch around it, since like I say, we don't have no one here to share into the contribution of today. Yeah, let's just dive in real quick. So this Dred Scott case situation, as we read last Sunday, we read about it last Sunday, and we read the actual portions of the case last Holy Day. And since I'm gonna give it some time for people to come in before we just dive into the actual case decision. But since that's gonna be the topic for a while, we want to get into the fundamentals of a lot of these things that we discuss as a people, especially about our sovereignty. And I'm glad that we were blessed to be put in the right mind space about this whole nationality thing, and where we see ourselves going as a people. But we got to get a grasp on just coming together as a nation, coming together in unity, and stop all the attacking each other. That pretty much has to cease and desist. And for those that are really focused on doing the actual work, we have to come together. We got a lot of our brothers and sisters that are very, very skilled in, the ways of the temple, or not the ways of the temple, but skilled in the ways of law, and have the intelligence or the skill set of understanding how to maneuver and navigate through the law. But you don't find them a part of an actual temple. So it's good to have people come into a actual temple home that they can be a part of, because like I said, it's so many people out there that are skilled in the understanding of the law. But if we don't come together in unity, it'll be very, very hard for us to set the example for the next generation. Not to say that the movement won't continue on, because this is a divine movement, and things do happen in and on divine timing. But if we want to lead that example for the next generation, we have to show that we can come together by doing this great work, and working amongst each other for the things that are in place for us as a people. And with this case, the main thing that stands out is the manumission for the Dred Scott case, or decision, that a lot of our people are really not too up to date about, or now just getting up to date about, on how to maneuver themselves through this. But like I said, for those that are skilled in the techniques of the law, the different genres of the law, this is where those skill sets come to play, especially being a part of a temple body. But through all of the misassociation, or I want to say misappropriation of the work of the temple, we miss the whole point of the prophet's work and it being recognized, as such. So, I do want to get into the fact that this whole manumission thing for us as a whole, as a people, which has been done, which has been put into, to fruition by the prophet, and the works that has been done by the prophet. Even, some of the scholars that we want to go ahead and give honors to, to the divine creator. And then, I want to give honors to the prophet himself, as well as all honors to all the messengers and forerunners, especially of the prophet Marcus Garvey, and those who came after, such as Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger, and the master teacher, Brother H.I.M, and others that have done, many great works. I want to give honors to everything Moorish as well, because we as a people have to understand how we fit into, into this whole thing as a conglomeration. We are a global functioning organism. So, we have to see that the point of the mission, which is the everlasting gospels, if we take it back to chapter 48 of the Moorish Science Temple of America Holy Qur'aan, and see that the prophet has came to teach us the old time religion, and that is working together in unity. And then the everlasting gospel, like I said, this is a divine movement that's going to continue on, on and on forever. The gospel, or the divine knowledge, the supreme news, as we call it, in the science, the science of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that main science that we have as temple people is Nuwabu. That should be, what's considered the main science of the temple, because Nuwabu is an actual, a cultural science for us. And with us being newlages in this particular branch temple number 24, or the Moorish Science Temple of America, a global temple branch of the Moorish Science Temple of America, our particular customs and laws in this particular temple is to teach our people their nationality and their divine creed, and to become newlages. So, this is this is a legacy that not just you know not just the so-called branch temple of the branch temples of America, the Moorish Science Temple of America, get to participate in, but all indigenous peoples across the world. We have to pay attention to the things that have been affirmed by the works of the prophet, even though it is structured as a theocracy, and you have to come into a body of the temple, which only makes sense. How would we get this thing done if we're not operating as we did as indigenous peoples? We brought people in by meeting with the tribe, and that's just that. Everything was centered around tribal affairs, and getting past all the tribal individual tribalisms that we had. We're the ones who were very advanced in technology. We're pioneers of science, commerce, mathematics, and all these different sciences that that comes from the ancient scribes, that come from those that actually knew how to read and knew how to write, and trickling on down to this day and this modern day time. So for us to continue as a people, especially a people that has a lot of wisdom to be learned, like it says, in these days and time, that are still within our culture. We are the pioneers. We are the futurists. So standing on what we're talking about today, as far as the not Noble Drew Ali, but the Dred Scott case and decision, it's best to understand that with Dred Scott and the private manumission by the can't remember the brother's name exactly, who did I think it was the Bowl family or something like that, that did the manumission for the Scott family. And so, like really understanding the importance of that case, because it's used to talk to the narrative that that goes around about African Americans not having any sovereignty or any standing in law. Blacks in America don't have standing in law. And I think it's time we really start to open our eyes and look past these things and stop the division, create unity, especially when it comes to how we communicate with one another and the language and the things like that. So, and just really get it together. But first, that takes getting the minds to get it together. Of course, you're still gonna have people that have their egos and want to be out front, but don't know how to be out front. Take lead, but don't know how to take lead, and let alone understand the fundamentals first before they consider themselves a leader of a tribe or anything like that. So we have a lot of that going on. Which is what creates a lot of the confusion that we do deal with. And then, it's always somebody that's the next, the next guru and this, that, and the third. But, it becomes noise, and we continue to be, fascinated by the noise of, the latest trends and the latest things that are going on, out here. And for us to really continue the work of what our ancestors have struggled to go through, and not to say that we have to take up the pressure of the same amount of work, but at least put it toward the things that were envisioned for us to pretty much be conducting ourselves in this day and time. So let's jump into some of this literature from the prophet. While we're here, and then I'm gonna get into our instructions, and then we're gonna bounce back to some of the sayings and things like that from the prophet. All right. All right. So the prophet gave us a slew of divine messages and things like that we have to really really reflect on. So I'm gonna just go through some of these things real quick that the prophet had mentioned for us. So the prophet gave this particular plea to us as a people. The prophet said, "Our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I, the prophet, am applying to all loyal, faithful Moors, members, and the American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. For I have suffered much and severely in the past through misunderstanding of what the movement was dedicated to. It is the great God Allah alone that guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent names to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. That is why I'm calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I am doing to help this national government. For without a free national name, without a descent flag of your forefathers, there is not a national divine title of the government in which we live. This is from your true and divine prophet unto all American and foreign synthesizers, Prophet Noble Drew Ali." So the prophet was saying that, come and help uplift fallen humanity. We're trying to save a nation of people here. This is something that, all of us should take heed to, because the prophet wasn't just talking to Moors. The prophet was talking to American citizens as well to come and assist, participate in this divine and national work, this divine and national movement that we have. It wasn't just, Moorish Americans per se. So it should be taken heed to that the prophet really had a universal message for the whole nation as a whole. And there's a lot that we're missing, by not being active or being able to be active and propagating the divine message. And seeing through the politricks and today's politicians or leaders, and how the political arena has been conducted. If civilized men and women don't stand up and really represent, then this is what we're gonna have. We're gonna have politricking politicians, and that's just what that leads us. There's nothing anchored and nothing grounded, such as the term moor or mooring, what it means. So that link that you see pinned there to the top of the room, for those that'll be coming back listening to the replays, y'all can click that link that's pinned up there to join our free civics one-on-one course and learn about your nationality and get more into the divine creed. It's a do-it-yourself system. So the actual assignments or blogs or essays, however you want to describe them, but actual real essays that you can create your own portfolio through to show that you're getting the information and the divine message and stand on your own merit. So the main thing is that we go over is our civic virtue and our civic engagement in the course, and that's what it really touches on, the histories of things. Cherries. And you can look more into that by clicking the link that's pinned up there at the top of the room. And also we have our holy instructions for Friday, which I'll go over here. Friday is the holy day, oh you who know. When the call is proclaimed to supplication on Friday, the day of assembly, hasten earnestly to the remembrance of the Heavenly Father and Divine Mother, and leave off business and traffic. That is best for you if you but knew. And when prayer is finished, then may ye disperse through the land and seek the bounty of God and celebrate the praises of God of 10 and without stint, that ye may prosper. So all of our temple services are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is the holy day of rest because we know Friday was the first day man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto our Father God Allah. So for that cause, Friday is our holy day all over the world for all Muslims and peacemakers. So, we always start our Fridays, our holy day service at their respective time, and we end it promptly at its respective time. And all members, citizens, patrons, prospects, ministers, everyone is expected to attend their holy day service. And all of us Muslims and peacemakers, we all come together to illustrate that which Allah has blessed us with. So, like I said, the meetings are to be open according to divine love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Understand no temple member, minister, citizen, or any outside congregation or guest be allowed to disrupt the holy day service, nor will they be admitted under the influence of alcohol or any intoxicants. So this is why we want to know who's up here on stage with us as we conduct our holy day service. And all members that are attending, civilians, temple ministers, and things like that, must have their heads covered with a turban or fez or kufi or some type of spiritual covering. And baseball caps are not allowed to be worn during this time in the temple. Please respect that. So we have our Sunday school gathering, which is mandatory for all temple nationals and denizens, etc., which must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to the Sunday school. And the teacher of the Sunday school must conform him or herself to the Temple 101 questionnaire to let every civilian man, woman, and child exercise his or her 5 senses who is able to do so, because from out of your Sunday school gathering comes the guiders of the nation, and at this point, the entire global village. So the Sunday school meeting or gathering should be held for the children, that should be held 1 to 2 hours before the adult gathering, and the gathering or the Sunday school should be conducted by the director of the children's Sunday school and programs. The Sunday school gathering is designed to assist the members in learning the Temple 101s and developing an understanding of just what the holy keys mean and how they are to be applied to our everyday lives, which is the divine constitution and bylaws, with the Moorish prayer, the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, El's holy Injiyl, El's holy Qur'aan, and our civics lessons that we have here in the temple. Okay, so give me a second, y'all. Hold on. Give me one little second here. Quick wipe out. All right, so let's get back to it. So the adult classes must be prepared by your Grand Sheik or your divine minister or the assistant Grand Sheik, or lessons, that are called by us Novites or temple members, additions that may be submitted to the students for their completion and returned to the temple. And once the lessons are completed and graded, they must be placed in the active members' temple district file. The Sunday school gathering is a wonderful opportunity to study the liturgy teachings of the prophet. No civilian is to become disruptive during the Sunday meeting. All templars must bring pen and paper to the temple service and meeting along with the basic temple literature and assignments. No templars or patron is to eat or eat food or any other snacks during the temple service, but water is permitted during the temple service. All templars must attend their Sunday temple services as diligently as they attend their holy day gathering. Both of these were called out by the prophet Noble Ali, and is required as a matter of law. So, according to the divine constitution, it states all templars must promptly attend their temple services and become part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Temple of America. So, for memberships, your head's a temple or any temple jurisdiction, they are not to charge for naturalization or to overcharge for cards, buttons, or anything that is issued by and through the prophet. And those who contribute to that are not Moors or civilians, but robbers of the temple. Your temple nationality in the temple's vast estate or public beneficiary trust, sisters and brothers, kin and kinfolk, is free, not only here, but all over the world. So for all kin and kinfolk that are designed to become a temple civilian or member of a subordinate temple, you have to read your messages from or any information from your temple secretary, and get a copy of your naturalization application for that temple. The secretary of that temple's jurisdiction will help all newcomers by explaining the naturalization application for the membership of the temple's vast estate or public beneficiary trust. So you also must have it arranged for yourself to be consulted by the royal council of the said temple or subordinate temple. The royal chairman or woman will set the date for the new temple prospect to be interviewed by the royal council. So you must go through, interviewing. Just like I said back in the day with the tribes. This is something that's, an indigenous principle. All right. So the new temple civilian or new member of the temple court, the consultation at the newcomers gathering. The new temple will proclaim that temple nationality at the next holy day. After the civilian or prospect or temple prospect proclaim his or her nationality, they will be given the mandatory requirements necessary to earn their free national name and royal title of nobility as a true American royal. And this is a requirement that is in accordance with chapter 47 of the Moorish Circle 7, Holy Qur'aan, Egypt, the capital, dominion, empire of Africa, the Moorish prayer, chapter 25 of the Moorish Qur'aan, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation, the 101, the Temple 101s, as well as the Divine Constitution and bylaws, and El's Holy Torah, El's Holy Injiyl, El's Holy Qur'aan, and the Holy Tabernacle Family Guide, our family guide that we have here as well. So once you learn these lessons or additions verbatim, then you'll be qualified to represent yourself as a faithful Moorish American or an indigenous peacemaker, and be able to communicate it to the ignorant for their instructions and communicate it to the wise for their improvement. So, all right, let's get into our Shahada here, which is the proclamation of one's nationality and pronunciation of the nationality will be held on that next Friday, that following Friday or holy day for the civilian or temple peacemaker. And during the ceremony, the temple member, the new temple member, will be ordained an El, Bey, or Day, and given his or her royal peerage title of kin, honorable, lady, noble, nin, nanya, prince or princess, whatever see fit by the Grand Sheik or divine minister, and receive your nationality card and button from the divine minister of the Grand Major Temple, which you could find at this point 3 holy days ago. If you go back and look, you just look through the group members, the members of the group here, the members of the clubhouse here on the World Temple, branch temple number 24, and find Brother Kenneth L. That is the divine minister that you can connect with to get your nationality card. And then that divine minister will go over with the new temple member and read the authority of the Moorish Temple of America, which by virtue of that document also can be found in Heard's revised statute that gives the Moorish Temple of America the authority to restore the nationality and birthrights of the lost Asiatics of America, Asia, and Africa and all world islands, and give them title to their vast estate and their heritage. So the divine minister or grand sheik or assistant grand sheik or whoever was appointed, they will read from the person's card and have the new temple member or civilian state, Allah is God and Noble Draw lead the prophet, and I am Moorish American, African, or Asian, and or world islander. And that is the Moorish clarification of faith and Shahada and our national pledge of allegiance. So the new civilian or temple member, their name will be added to the temple's book of life as they enroll in our Civics 101 course. The nationality ceremony should be conducted by the Grand Sheik or Divine Minister or any other Divine Minister or Minister, any other minister or adept that is appointed by the Grand Sheik and Divine Minister in their absence. So the naturalization and the nationality must be signed by the Divine Minister who actually issued the card to you. And the Religious Corporation Act that we mentioned, Heard's revised statute, has deemed the Global Interdependent School District and the Incorporated and Chartered Moorish Science Temple of America, Africa, and Asia as a religious trust and theocratic government established in 1928 on August 20th. And this religious trust is the true global trusteeship system for the Holy Family of Nations, forming a global nucleus. All right. All right. So that makes up our holy instructions as well as our holy Shahada, baptismal, or whatever you like to refer it as. It's up to you, but that is our pledge of nationality, ceremony and procedures. So let's jump back into some of the literature from the prophet. Some of these oral sayings from the prophet. The prophet said, or it was said that the prophet said, before the end of time, I'm going to lower down the evil spirits and let them incarnate. And that sounds like what we're getting out of this Dred Scott case, from the evils that were done through the kidnapping and bondage of the Moorish of America, as well as Africa and Asia, all over the world. Especially with this discovery doctrine, as we come to know that the Pope has recently rescinded that discovery doctrine a couple of years ago. So that Papal Bull no longer has legal standing, and now slavery, and the bondage and the taking of indigenous people's land, that must be, returned rightfully back to the heirs and the owners of that land. So we're living in, the times that the prophet has mentioned, that, what will happen in the year 2000 is that the Moors will come back into their own. All right. So the prophet said one day all of the property is going back to the government. And, that's, actually what happened through this financial system where they take ownership, and what they're mentioning right now in the World Economics Forum, where they say you will own nothing and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. So the prophet was, really on point with what came. It was said that the prophet said, I have got the Romans in the palm of my hands. Because, we know who the Romans are, especially according to the scriptures. The scriptures is what really stands strong on this, message that the prophet is saying here. All right, so it was said that the prophet said the Europeans is our fellow man. It says the prophet said money does not make the man, and clothes do not make the man. It is character and free national standards that make the man. So I wonder, what that meant from the prophet, because as I say all the time, all Europeans wasn't of the pale skinned nation. So we have to understand that there's Moorish Europeans, just like there's Moorish Africans, Moorish Asians, and all world islanders, anywhere indigenous peoples are. So, gotta understand that. Let's get into some more things here from the prophet. It said the prophet told the Moors, when you get married, go before your grand Sheik and let him perform the ceremony. Some of the Moors did not obey the prophet's orders, so he told the Moors, go downtown and buy your wives from the Europeans. That's something to reflect on. Is that the manumission we talking about right there? Could that be a part of the manumission? It was stated that the prophet said, the garment I have on represents power, and if you obey my voice, you will have power with me. I'm going to free you, though it is hard because of your mixture, which brings about many different spirits. When you fail to hear my voice, you are lost. It is against the law to stand up in any audience intoxicated. The leader is not to stay out all night diving earnings away to someone else. It says, you who are heads of temples, it is easy for you to destroy the influence of the temple and me. Now lace up your shoes and get right. It's also stated, the prophet said, our nationality in this government began with the parade. And I've been to that parade where we was escorted in Chicago. I've been a physical witness of that. It's also stated that the prophet said, this is not no social organization, it is a divine and national movement. By you being born here, don't make you a citizen. Look what I have said on. Now this was handed to me by the government. It represents the royal prince. So the prophet letting you know right there, this is about royal standing. The prophet also said, don't try to deal out justice, for justice belongs to Allah and Allah alone, as I mentioned earlier, y'all. All right, so these things are real heavy to look into and really reflect on the messages from the prophet. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into our divine warnings, and I'm gonna go ahead and land this plane for us tonight. But y'all enjoy y'all holiday. Blessed to everyone that came through, gave us a quick visit, and we're gonna call it a night. So let's get into the messages from the prophet that he wanted us to read. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over the links so that way y'all can join us. Have the link to join us. All right, here we go. Switching this link out real quick, then we're gonna jump into these messages from the prophet, closing messages from the prophet. All right, so the prophet wanted us to read these messages, at every temple service. But also read this one where the prophet speaks to the nation. That's going to be the last thing I read from the literature, and we're going to get into those divine warnings from the prophet. The The prophet said, if you have race pride and love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become part of this divine movement. Then you will have power to redeem your race because you will know who you are and your forefathers were. Because where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, divided we fall. Come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery, which you have now, need every one of you who think that your condition can be better. This is an open field to strong men and women to uplift the nation and take your place in the affairs of men. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem, the Negro problem. It's only being solved as it can, and that is by the Moorish National Divine Movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. This is what was meant when it said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. By the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. All right. So let's get into the rest of these divine messages from the prophet. We're going to close it out. But, like I said earlier, get yourself with some active Moors. It's one thing learning all of the different things of the law, but all of that does is lead us to each individual doing their own administration, and we're not coming together to help or create a productive market of quality services, especially as adept Moors. So just take heed to the messages so that way we can get these things put into effect. If we're going to come together, we got to create economy of scale, as we read before here. So with that, let's get into this. The prophet gave us this warning that's to be read in every temple meeting and temple service. The prophet said, I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your card at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, true peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their carding button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet in the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. True peace, Noble Drew Ali. All right. So let's get into this last warning, and we're going to do the prayer and take it on home, y'all. For those that'll be listening to the replays, like I say every week, y'all want to listen to everything that we touch on here because it's very important, regardless if it seems repetitious or not. It's very important because that way you'll really get the fundamentals of what's being, conveyed, and some of these messages will actually, get you to understand how we're supposed to function. And like the prophet said, I gave you what it takes to save a nation. So with that, let's get into this last proclamation from the prophet. Islam. The prophet says, I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance badly, so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world would not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam. So take heed, Moors, and please understand the messages. A diet that is coming from the prophet. A lot of Moors that are rogue don't have a temple home. Well, you got a temple home here at Branch Temple number 24 of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All you gotta do is click that gray block of words, become a guest congregational member, and join us every Friday and Sunday. We'll be back for new Sunday school newcomers gathering. And with that, we're gonna jump into the prayer. We're gonna close it out for the night, y'all. Peace and blessings. Y'all know how it go. 2 fingers up, 5 fingers up, feet at a 45-degree angle, facing toward the east. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. All right, with that, y'all, much love, true peace, wadu.